Hello, welcome to 25,000 Miracles. My name is Ellie. I'm pleased you're here. The story is called My Niece Returned and Took Charge. The story is by Kathleen Baker. We have heard from her in the past. And this took place in November of 2002. And a 45-year-old woman died. That was the niece of Kathy. And the woman was an only child, so it was especially hard, parents especially hard. And the niece was married with the child. And so she was leaving behind her husband and her child. And this was really a rough time. And Kathy says, quote, "It devastated my older brother and his wife. My niece was married with one 15-year-old child. They were equally shattered," end quote. Now, Kathy was only 9 years old when this niece was born. And their relationship wasn't like a regular aunt and niece. It was friends. And what Kathy says about this, quote, "I consider that much more significant than simply being related," close quote. Now, within a few months of the death of the niece, a friend of Kathy's was having a horrible time, and she was very depressed. And many friends were worried about her. And she just kept saying she didn't need help. She was all right. Possibly she thought she could eventually work everything out. But they were afraid. And Kathy said, "We've been best friends for many years." But it was not a best friend. It was not a best friend situation. And she says, "Those type friendships afford you the right to give advice, whether it's asked or not," close quote. So on top of all of this, the friend's father died. Now the friend is completely devastated. And Kathy said on the morning I heard, this is a quote, "On the morning I heard of his passing, I called her and I said, when would be a good time for me to come over and to your house?" And the friend responded, "There's no good time." She said, I just want to be alone." And Kathy said, "Well, that's okay. That's okay, because I just wanted to drop off a cake. I don't have to come in. I'll just bring it over and drop it off." So Kathy was surprised when she arrived and was asked in. And then something unusual happened. And Kathy says, "I could feel within me someone take charge of the entire situation." I finished reading this quote. "I was asking questions without even realizing it. The questions came rapidly with me giving no thought to them at all," close quote. So Kathy was quite surprised at this turn of events, and she was surprised at how blunt she suddenly was. And suddenly her friend was now curled up on her lap in a fetal position, and Kathy was answering every question that Kathy answered. And Kathy said she was being totally honest. And this is what she said. She was considering suicide. Quote, "I couldn't believe I'd even asked the question. In a very short time, I'd made an appointment for her with my doctor. I drove her to his office the very next morning," close quote. And now the friend is doing well. And yet she's giving all the credit to Kathy. And the friend says, I just even wouldn't be here today if not for you, Kathy." And Kathy says this, "But it was not me. I was being guided. I recognized almost immediately who was guiding and directing me. My niece was guiding and directing me." The niece that she lost had depression. And she spent years looking at it and understanding it and studying it. She was very well educated on the subject. And in the quote, Kathy says, "I know without a doubt she was in charge the day I spoke with my friend. It was my niece. She sent a message through me to help someone else," close quote. For Kathy, you have to understand what a great thing it was for her to even just feel the presence of her niece. God, I love you. You are so kind. You give us such beautiful miracles. Thank you for coming and listening. You have a wonderful day. And listen, have a great week. And may your every day be filled with peace and the goodwill of others. My name is Ellie. 25,000 miracles. Be well. Bye-bye.